Hey guys, this is Paul. It's time to cut the BS on some of these AC things you can buy for your AC to make them work better. I mean, sure, this little divider in the AC, it moves from the factory, and of course it's pretty, I don't know why they didn't come up with a better idea. This little foam thing insert you can buy, for $200 or 170 something bucks or something like that. That's all it is a little foam or an insert. You can do the same thing without it. We're going to do that today. So stand by and we'll get to it. Okay guys, you can see that little divider in the AC unit. I already fixed that last year. It moves around, so I took some black Gorilla tape and taped it in place so it can't move. And then taped around the vents so it gave it a more smooth AC, so the air could get through there much better. Both sides, you can see, just black tape, and I used some of that AC tin tape too, the foil tape. This is right here is the cold side, goes into the RV. You can see the fan up there. Okay, and here's the intake here with all your electrical. And I also took some tin tape and Gorilla tape and taped everything that looks like air could escape into. Try to make it as air friendly as I could. There's the wires. See, here's some more tin tape right here. It looks like the Gorilla tape is holding better than the tin tape. And we got these murder summers in Arizona. Of course, last year this trailer set most of the year up in flag. You can see it up in there. Okay, so now what we're going to do, only thing that AC insert is doing is replacing this right here, and it's taking this, it fits up in here, and it's dividing this air. It's got a little V thing, so it's not really doing a whole lot other than it's just making sure this compartment, all the air goes into your vents, into your distribution vents, instead of out the front, which is the adjust right here, this thing right here, so it doesn't go in here. So all we're going to do today, it's very simple. We're going to take a piece of foam and put it in here and just block this compartment completely. Just put a piece of foam in here, a flat piece of foam, tape it in place so the air can't come out through the vents anymore. It's going to just be able to go, through the downward vents in the top of your AC. Because I guess it could. It's blowing out cold air here, and then it just gets sucked right back up into the intake. So you're probably wasting some air on the return. So we're going to close this up, tape it so it can't move, and that should direct all the air into the vents. And we'll get to it here. Okay, hopefully you can see I've got the camera sitting on the breakfast table, on the little dinette table, with it aimed up towards the vent. What we're going to do, first thing we're going to do is measure the piece of foam. It's a rigid foam that we're going to cut and put in here. So it has to be 8 1/4 minus by 14. So I'm going to cut a piece of rigid foam, 14 by 8 1/4 minus, and we'll just slide it up in there and tape it in place. So that's pretty simple, and we'll give it a test and see how it works. My little camera thing here wants to bounce around. So I'll cut that and we'll put it up in there, tape it with I'm going to tape it with some black, the Gorilla tape. It looks like that tin tape is just not holding. Both pieces I put up in the return, because I guess it's so hot up in there and dusty, it's just peeling away. But the black tape, the Gorilla tape, seems to be holding pretty good. It may not if it gets too hot. later on. But like I said, this trailer's been in, it was up in Flag last summer. This summer it's going to be more down in Tucson, which gets quite a bit hotter. So we'll see how it works out. But we'll try that. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, this is what we ended up with. It's just a piece of, this is really some styrofoam that I had laying around. So I just cut a piece of it. Doesn't really need to be this thick, but it won't hurt to be this thick. So I just cut it 14 this way, 8 1/4 minus, so 8 1/2. I mean 8 1/8, or somewhere there. It's close enough. Close enough for government, I always said. But anyway, this is all it is. We cut the corners, 45 the corners, so it would go up in there because of the bolts. It has to pass the bolts. And you don't have to worry about being up in there. We'll glue it up in there. We'll see what happens. But this is all you need right here. This cost me nothing because I had everything on site. I had any do-it-yourselfer has Gorilla Tape now, or duct tape. And this stuff, I'm sure you have some of this laying around. If not, you can hardware store, very cheap. And when you cut this stuff, a little trick, when you cut this stuff, it wants to keep flaking off, it gets everywhere. You just take your torch, you get a little torch, and just unload and just pass it over each side that you cut, and it reseals it so it doesn't flake off. Nothing flakes off all over the place. Okay, we'll give it a try. We'll see what happens. Okay, I just turned on the AC. I didn't even tape it in yet. And holy crap, what a difference. I've got a piece of little plastic here. I'll hold it up in front of the vents. This is the vent in the kitchen, and before you could just barely feel the air coming out. Even with that center divider you could feel it, but you couldn't feel it real hard. Now, as I'm walking in, after I turned it on, I'm walking in the trailer, and I could feel it hitting me in the face. Look at this. This is a visual. I mean, this is how hard it's blowing now. And this is on low. Look at that. It's blowing like crazy now. There we go. Let's see. Hopefully, it's hard to, I should have got something that would flop better. But I mean, look at this. I've got short hair, and it's blowing my hair all over the place. That's great. And that is great. Look at that. It just blows like crazy now. And that's on all the vents. I only have, let's see, I got 2 in the living room and 1 in the bathroom, so I really got a total of 3 vents. So now it's pushing all that air through those vents, and you can really feel it circulating now. Here's another vent here. Look at that. I'm like 2 feet away from it, and you see the air. It's just being, so I'm going to go ahead and seal that, and you can see how the back pressure, let's see, now the back pressure is just holding that in place, and I don't even have the front on it yet. So I'm going to tape it in. I'll put the plate back up, and that's all you need. You don't need that $200 piece of foam that they want you to buy, that insert. I mean, somebody had a good little idea, but you don't need all that. So, just some tape, a little of your time, and you're good to go. So, okay, hopefully this helps everybody out. Hey guys, I wanted to show you the final thing here. This is the final result right here. You can see it. That's taped in. That foam is taped in. So all you're doing is just taking that piece of foam, sealing up that so it can't come out the vents on the face of the AC and get sucked back up in there. And I had to show you this. I mean, there's some air escaping around the sides of that, not much, but a little bit. when I put the tape in, it sealed it up completely. And all the air is going down through the ducts now into the vents. And I wanted to show you this. This is crazy. Look at I'm getting so much airflow now. Look at the toilet paper in the toilet just flopping away. I'm getting a lot of air circulation now through my fifth wheel, which I wasn't getting before. That's a good idea. You know, that's the way to do it right there. I mean, I think this is the best thing I've done for my AC. And so, I mean, I'm standing right here, and I'm getting blown away right now. I've got air circulating everywhere. It's really nice. Okay, guys, I hope this helped you out, and I'm happy with the results. I'm going to go ahead and put my faceplate back on. I won't even be able to see anything. I didn't have to take those screws out. All I had to do is cut a piece of foam to fit that hole, put it up in there, put a little tape around it to keep the air escaping by it, and your back pressure will hold it in. And that's it, man. This is great. I'm very happy with this. So, all right, and I'll see you later in another video. Bye.